First, we're later than planned to join Gary for Match of the Day.
Welcome to Match of the Day, the first of a weekly series coming to you every Saturday.
Georgie Best has done it again.
Hello, Jimmy. Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day.
Look at his face! Just look at his face! Look at that! Oh, look at that! Unbelievable!
You can't win anything with kids.
Great touch by Beckham! Oh, he did it! Absolutely magnificent! It's onto a goal!
Good evening, it's prosperity rather than austerity on tonight's Match of the Day, but don't worry, there's plenty of saving as well, and there's no budgeting for quality. Hello to Alan Shearer and Philip Neville. Tottenham's hopes of a top four finish suffered a blow last weekend after defeat to Manchester United. Could they get back on track against the league's bottom side, Leicester City, who are without a win in 7? Your commentator at White Hart Lane was Martin Fisher.
Right now, the Championship looks a more likely prospect for Leicester City next season than the Champions League does for Tottenham Hotspur. Neither team can afford many more slip-ups if they're to achieve their respective goals. Ryan Mason has recovered from a dead leg, so Mauricio Pochettino is able to name the same side for the 5th game in a row, with Harry Kane looking to celebrate his England call-up in fitting style. Kasper Schmeichel returns after a 3-month absence with a foot injury. David Nugent gets a recall up front, as does top scorer Leonardo Ulloa, who's already scored home and away against Spurs this season. The 102nd meeting between these two clubs, and in all that time there's only been one goalless draw, and that was 67 years ago. So hopefully we're in the right place to see some goals today. Both clubs desperate for the win, but for very different reasons. Kyle Walker, one of 3 Tottenham players that were called up by Roy Hodgson for the England squad. Here's Ulloa looking to get Vardy in behind Walker. Nugent waits in the centre, and the offside flag has been raised. And in the meantime, Hugo Lloris has taken an almighty buffeting here, and it's Walker who clatters into his goalkeeper. It's a painful one for the French international, and it's a situation that will bring great concern for the manager, Mauricio Pochettino here. Standing ovation for the French international, who just about manages a thumbs up to those supporters. And an opportunity for Michel Vorm, his Premier League debut for Tottenham Hotspur. Now Rose, looking for Kane. Booth across for Leicester. Lineker from Kane, he's found Rose. Morgan made sure that Rose didn't make any further progress, and we have our first corner of the game. Townsend's delivery, attacking that near post, and it's shoveled in by guess who? Harry Kane, on 6 minutes, makes the kind of impact that we all knew he would today, at the end of a week when he made the England senior squad. Leicester couldn't clear their lines from the little back heel there, and Kane just humps it through the legs of Cambiasso. And the familiar refrain of "he's one of our own" echoes around the lane. Tottenham starting the day 7th in the table, behind Southampton on goal difference. And it's a long-range effort, and Vorm keeps it out. Nugent just testing him out there. And nervous moments early doors here for Michel Vorm. Good alertness here from David Nugent. There was plenty of whip on that shot. Tottenham have been in excellent form in front of their own supporters. They haven't lost at home in the Premier League since early November. It's a 9-game unbeaten run. Of course, in that period, they have been beaten here in the Cup by Leicester City. Townsend scored for Spurs in that game, and he's picked out Walker, who's taken on Upson for pace. Huth, Kane, 2-0. Well, he didn't quite make the kind of connection with that as he would have wanted to. Doesn't really matter, though. He's found the back of the net again. Well, Huth couldn't deal with the centre from Kyle Walker. From that angle, you clearly see that it cannons against the chest of the German defender. And that forces the ricochet, and Schmeichel completely wrong-footed. Certain that Robert Huth won't want the credit for that one. Equally certain that Harry Kane will. What's a mountain now for Leicester City to climb? Rose. And again, got there ahead of Nugent. Eriksson let it run, and now picks up the loose ball. He's away from Upson, he's away from Slump. Again Chadley. It should be Tottenham 3, Leicester 0. Eriksen denied, certainly by the post and possibly the fingertip of Kasper Schmeichel here. And from the rebound, Chadley steers it over the bar. Spurs in control of the situation, looking likely to add to the scoreline every time they attack Leicester, really. But Leicester have had their moments as well going forward. And they're coming forward now with Nugent. Vardy waits in the centre. Here he is, great chance. Leicester back in it. Jamie Vardy's first goal for 5 months. Beautifully fashioned by David Nugent. The delivery from Nugent was itch perfect, as was Vardy's finish on the stretch. And after 23 games without a goal, Jamie Vardy is back on the score sheet for Leicester City. Cambiasso getting the better of Mason, looking for Schlupp, who is away from Walker here. Schlupp with a cutback. Here's David Nugent, and now Ojoa. Ojoa still, and Nugent! How on earth did Leicester not score? Nugent shot, blocked by Walker, and it clears the crossbar. Instead of their second goal, it's their second corner, and there is the second goal, and it's Wes Morgan, the captain, his first ever Premier League goal, and from 2 down, Leicester level at 2-2. Nobody even contemplated picking up the giant centre-half, and Wes Morgan gets a vital, vital goal for Leicester City. What a comeback this has been, and it's no more than they deserve. Eriksen has found Mason. First Schlupp, and then Cambiasso with the challenges. Leicester concede the corner. There's a fracas developing inside the 6-yard box between Bentaleb and Ojoa. Mike Dean has spotted this bit of nonsense that was in danger of escalating out of control for a second or two. And this is what happened. Initially handbags and then rutting stags, and then a slap from Bentaleb, looking to escape without any kind of card. Now Vertonghen. Mason trying to get it through for Rose, and Nugent just lost his man for a moment. Tottenham want a penalty, and Tottenham have a penalty. And Rose appears to make the most of it, but Nugent's touch was heavy. It could be a huge decision in Leicester City's season. So Harry Kane from 12 yards, he scored 2 already today, make it 3, his first ever Premier League hat-trick. The milestones keep coming for him. This is why Roy Hodgson has put him in the England squad. This guy scores goals. It's the perfect penalty, and Spurs back in front. A hugely controversial decision. And what a let-off for Pochettino and Tottenham. Chadley is on the charge. Morgan back for Leicester. Kane disappearing to the back post. Here he is! Just fantastic movement. As soon as Chadley there had it, Kane was on the move. And it was an awkward one to control on the stretch. Dyer. And he's done well. And he's found Mason, and Dyer now becoming an overlapping left-back. Kane waits in the centre, and so too Chadley, and he's cleared the bar again. Not once, but twice today the Belgian has missed glorious opportunities. Just has to hit the target. Here's Chadley. On for Paulinho. Eriksen free in the centre. Eriksen for 4. And it's in. How unfortunate. Schmeichel looked like he'd blocked it. And Schlupp thought he could keep it off the line. And that surely wraps it up at White Hart Lane. Eriksen left alone in the box. Paulinho's ball in was good. Schmeichel out to smother, but it bounces off Schlupp. And Leicester City's stubborn resistance and their gallant efforts surely now count for little. Nugent through the centre, and he's away from Vertonghen. Nugent, 4-3! It's not over yet. Nugent's 4th goal of the season. Does it set us up for a grandstand finish? Tottenham not quite over the finishing line yet. On my watch, we've just about played the 3 minutes of added. It's a Tottenham corner, but that might be academic. The most important thing is that Tottenham Hotspur have the ball. As referee Mike Dean blows for time, an afternoon that fellow will always remember, at the end of a week that he will always remember too. In the England senior squad, he has a match ball, his first ever Premier League hat-trick.
Leicester is a very good team, and not reflect on the table how they play or how as good play this team. I think that they deserve more, but it was a very tough game. I'm happy for the result because 3 points very important after the defeat against Manchester United.
For them to get a penalty in the sort of context of how the game was developing, and it'd be very contentious. It is. It's another setback that our players have had to deal with.
Is it worth ever speaking to the referee after a situation like that?
Yeah, and I find his arrogance quite. I've got to choose my words carefully. I find it distasteful. Let's put it like that. And you know, I think our players deserve a little bit more respect.
Do you watch the television and hear what all these pundits are saying? The likes of Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, and everybody else just raving about your ability. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I think it can only give me confidence to have players like that talking about me the way they do and giving me praise. It can only help me, and I've kind of tried to use that and with my confidence and use it on the pitch. And yeah, it's been working well so far. So hopefully a few more nice words tonight wouldn't be that bad either.
I think they might be all right. Let's talk about him straight away, Alan. I mean, he just keeps on scoring. He's got his England call-up and it didn't seem to affect him at all. He's banging in the goals.
Well, considering he didn't really start playing regular Premier League football till November, he's now top scorer in the Premier League, 19 goals. Yeah. I think Roy Hodgson should start him. Yes, he's in the squad. Start him in the team. He's watched him enough times this season. He knows what he's about. He's on fire. And the form he's in, I think get him in there and he'll score goals. I think he'll be a great foil for Rooney. And I'm a big fan of his. I love his attitude, the way he scores all sorts of goals. I said to our editor, I said, I cannot believe we're not showing his goals or highlighting his goals again. He said, well, he only got a tap in, a deflection and a penalty. I said, oh, is that all, is it? If it was that easy.
What's wrong with that?
If it was that easy, Zaldara would have done that, wouldn't he? So, no, I'm a huge fan of his and without doubt, get him in the England team.
Yeah. Now, Philip, you watched that game closely and you were slightly alarmed about the form of another possible England player, Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I think I've watched Spurs the last 2 games. They've conceded 6 goals and a lot of the problems have come down Spurs' right-hand side with Kyle Walker. And I think it's a combination of positional play, bad concentration. This was last week at Old Trafford and Eric Dyer got blamed for this goal. But as this ball gets played there, Kyle Walker's got to get back round and tuck in. He's got to smell the danger there of Marouane Fellaini that was peeling off the back of Mason. He didn't. The ball went through. Eric Dyer could have done better as well. This was the second goal where he was marking Michael Carrick at a corner. Michael Carrick gets in front of the near post. Kyle Walker switches off. He gets caught ball watching. Michael Carrick ends up scoring that goal where I thought Kyle Walker should have done better. This was today. As a fullback, you've got to take your line off the centre-back there, Eric Dyer. He doesn't. He then reacts too late. And now as the ball goes down the right-hand side, he's got to get back round and defend the far post. He doesn't do that and Vardy scores. He's got to defend the far post really well there. He doesn't. And this was the third goal. Now, as Eric Dyer goes up for the header there, he's in totally the wrong position. He's got to get back, he's got to drop off and form an inverted V there with Vertonghen. He doesn't. As that ball's bouncing, that's the area he should be at. Vertonghen was weak as well, and Nugent puts it away. I'm a big fan of Kyle Walker, but I think the last 2 weeks, his levels have dropped below the standards that I think he's capable of.
Yeah, just before, you want to make a point about Leicester, but first, another fullback, Tottenham fullback, has been called up, just been called up this evening to the England squad for the game against Lithuania. That's Danny Rose has come in because Luke Shaw has pulled out injured. As far as Leicester, well, they offered a threat, and it was, I mean, I've watched Leicester obviously a lot this season, and they often play well, but they just keep losing. I suppose their performance as well was epitomised, you felt, by David Nugent's game.
It was. I mean, his performance had absolutely everything today. It was an emotional rollercoaster. This was in the first couple of minutes. He went through on goal. It was a really good position. He drags his shot wide. He actually ends up going out for a throw-in. This was the first goal. Brilliant play into Jojoa. He continued his run, and this was a brilliant cross to the far post for Vardy to score. This was in the second half, where I think this is the best chance of the game. Jojoa again does really well as he squares the ball. I think Nugent's there, he's got to score and score for Leicester. It just bobbles up a little bit, but I think he's got to be clinical. This was the penalty incident. I don't think this is a penalty. It was a poor first touch, but I think that's a real soft penalty to give away. But it was the first touch there that was poor from him that got him into that situation.
So you think that perhaps Pearson had a point, although perhaps, you know, calling him
I don't think it was a penalty at all. And this was his goal. And I think this is when David Nugent is at his best, when he's running through, he doesn't have time to think about it, and that is a brilliant finish. And to be fair, Leicester played really well again, but they lost again.
Yeah. They did indeed. 5 wins in a row for Arsenal has given them a serious chance of overtaking Manchester City and claiming second place. Even the title might not be beyond them. They travel to Newcastle, who've lost 3 of their last 4. Jonathan Pearce, watch this one.
Jan Mad is forced to play centre-back for Newcastle, and Jack Colback left-back with 10 players missing and only 13 senior players available as they look to end a run of 6 defeats in a row against Arsenal and pick up only their 3rd win in 11 matches this season. Olivier Giroud is in the mood to cash in on Newcastle's problems with 8 goals in his last 10 games and 6 against Newcastle in 5 meetings. Ozil is ill, Bellerin and Mertesacker are rotated, Ramsey, Chambers and Gabriel Paris to come in. 5 wins in a row for Arsenal. 4 away wins on the spin in all competitions. Ramsey to Welbeck, who took a tumble. Giroud fouled by Colback, who lost it initially. 23 minutes on the clock. Arsenal haven't really created anything yet. Fuller with the free kick in. Welbeck with a header. It's gone in off Giroud's neck. Well, when you're in a purple patch, you get goals like that. He's playing his 6th game against Newcastle, Olivier Giroud. It's his 7th goal against them. It's 9 and 11 for him now for Arsenal in this lovely run he's having, and 16 this season. Did it hit him? Did he guide it in? Welbeck won the first header, and Giroud made sure. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 1. The Frenchman gets another. Here's Sanchez. Welbeck releasing Ramsey. Giroud in the middle, joined by Sanchez. That was the target of the long pass. Oh, brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. Back it comes. Welbeck. Big chance for 2. He missed it. The work of Sanchez deserved better. If Arsenal get another, then I really worry about Newcastle today. John Carvery is a Newcastle man through and through. Used to watch from the Gallagher. But he's playing a patched-up team, and you can see they're in real trouble. Here's Cazorla. Round Krul. Sanchez. Krul has dived. Cleared away by Williamson. Arsenal had a chance there to score again. The worry for Arsene Wenger is that his team hasn't capitalised on their dominance. Cazorla. Oh, it's 2! He's got yet another. He can't stop scoring. 2 in 4 minutes for Olivier Giroud. It's all Arsenal. Newcastle are being battered here. Giroud, man of the moment. Glancing header, brilliantly placed. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. Giroud has them both. A rueful look there from the Newcastle owner. Giroud losing out to Williamson. Sami Amiobi. What was Koscielny doing in there, going over so easily? Sissoko. The shot was blocked. Perez tips the far post. Cabella was there, blocked by Monreal. Watch Koscielny here. He loses out and goes down too theatrically. That could cost his team. And Matt Taylor. He's done well for Newcastle United today. Throughout his career, he's always given his all. Cabella, good work by Newcastle, and they've got a goal! Sissoko! Lovely move! Just what Newcastle wanted at the start of the second half. 3 minutes into the second period, Newcastle 1, Arsenal 2. Captain's innings from Sissoko. Whatever he said at half-time, John Carver, has paid off. It was a lovely move, good pullback by Cabella, drilled in by Sissoko. Ryan Taylor started it all off though. Good vision, fine pullback, lovely finish. Game on. And suddenly Newcastle are pressing very, very high. Here's Amiobi, and suddenly Arsenal are making mistakes. Here's Colback. Anita in towards Ayoze Perez. Gets a shot away! What a start for the second half for the home side. Dispirited in the first half, heading for defeat. Now, tails are up, confidence is up, tempo is up, the crowd is up. We have a game. Suddenly, the Toonami finds its voice. They stayed loyal with Newcastle most of the first half until they went off at half-time, the Newcastle fans, but they're right behind them now. Decision against Gabriel Paulista. Corner ball it is to Newcastle. Good pressure on him by Colback. In comes the corner, looking for Williamson, guided away by Koscielny. Cabella to Ayoze Perez. Hit Chambers did it, comes out towards Gouffron, no finish. No finish. Newcastle fans were appealing for handball against Chambers, but hit him low on the arm was down. Poor finish. Newcastle are committing more men forward more often. Coquelin's gone down, he's holding his face. Gouffron, Anita. Ayoze Perez behind Cabella. So a little bit of trickery to get beyond Monreal, who's having none of it, but his clearance has bounced goal side, and Cabella's got to the line and pulls it back, and it's steered away by Gabriel Paulista. Arsenal are wobbling in the back. Just now Coquelin, he's got a nosebleed again, Coquelin, he's troubled him in recent weeks. Gouffron in there, Taylor with the corner, keeper blocked off, and then has to save. Sissoko got the last touch, it was a Williamson header initially. Fine reactions from Ospina. And that's a throw to Newcastle. Arsene Wenger will be thinking, how on earth have we got ourselves in this position? He's been known for his reflex saves. An outstanding World Cup, of course. Here's Gouffron. That's a decent effort from Janmaat. Janmaat from range, keep that covered. Now into Ramsey, quickly on to Welbeck. Taking on Williamson on the outside, he's got enough pace to go beyond him, needs support, arriving. His final touch was heavy, Brawl came out, spun himself and blocked. Did well to burst into the penalty area, left Williamson behind him for the chance. Here the touch is too heavy, there, two arriving in the middle, Ramsey and Rosicki. Oh, lovely football by Remy Cabella. In comes a low cross. Off Koscielny. Dipping the shoulders here. Good work by Ozzy Perez, who's deflected and kicked away. What a second half Newcastle have put up. The shot was going in, deflected off Chambers. Not for the first time this season, Ospina has saved Arsenal.
You know, after the Champions League away from home, if you can get 3 points, it's fantastic. They came too early back, 2-1, and then they've shown different qualities. We did hang on with solidarity and fighting spirit because the legs had gone a little bit, and when Newcastle was more dangerous, yes, we weren't afraid to be at 2-2.
I said to them, just be proud of what you do, be proud of wearing this shirt, and give the fans something to shout about, because that's all they're asking for. And I thought they did that, and it's amazing. Once we got on the front foot, all of a sudden the stadium come alive and the team come alive, and it was nice to see.
We need to win every games. That's what we want to do, and step by step, you know, we never know if City or Chelsea will miss one of these steps. We're going to be here, and with a great belief and faith.
People had a go at us last week saying we had our flip-flops on, we were on the beach. Now, let me tell you, if you've been to the game today and watched the game today, you'll see that's not the case. So I'll keep driving them, whatever team I put on the pitch. I'll continue working with them. And the guys have showed there that they're not on the summer holidays yet, and they'll keep having a go.
Well, I think they took the flip-flops off at half-time, didn't they? I mean, that was a game of contrasting 45 minutes, if ever there was one.
Unbelievable. I mean, I would have expected Newcastle to come out of the blocks flying after being battered by Everton last weekend and being criticised by a lot of people. And I expected them to get in the faces of Arsenal, but there was nothing at all. It was just so easy for Arsenal. Take your time, get your head up, no pressure on the ball whatsoever. And I'm thinking, I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, come on guys, you've got to do a lot more. You've got to get closer to the ball. You've got to start closing the Arsenal players down, because if you give them time and space like they're getting here, then they will punish you, because they're an excellent team when teams allow them to do that. And it's just so easy for them. There's three players here and I'm thinking, go and close him down, get near to him. And the crowd are flat. And at Newcastle, you've got to get the crowd going. Even if you go in and you make a crunch and tackle, it just gives them something extra. And it could have been 3 or 4-0 at half-time. They should have really been out of sight. Yes, this is a great piece of skill by Sanchez, but it's far too easy. And just look at the space that Welbeck gets here. And he should put that away, he should finish that shot, should be in the back of the net. This is Giroud's second goal. He's hungrier than Williamson, he wants that ball more than Williamson, he's stronger than him, and that summed Newcastle up. Anita on the post, don't know what he's doing, he should do a hell of a lot better. It's his job to clear that, and he doesn't, and that summed Newcastle up in the first half.
Well, it was totally different in the second half. I mean, despite sort of ditching war flip-flops, what on earth changed things? Why were they so much better?
I don't think we can repeat probably what John Carver and Steve Stone were saying at half-time, but what I'm pretty sure he would have said is you've got to get higher up the pitch, you've got to close them down higher up the pitch, you've got to have more intensity in your game, and look at the difference. You can see they're now playing with a little bit of energy. Great skill from Ryan Taylor, lovely little 1-2 runs in behind, and they get the goal, and all of a sudden they're back in the game. Very good finish from Sissoko, but just look at the difference when they lose the ball here. Look, Gouffran's in, Cabella's in, and they're now all on the front foot, as John Carver said. They're now attacking Arsenal, they're now giving Arsenal something to think about. And this is within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, and it so nearly could have been a goal. They win the tackle, they're in again, they win it again, Anita, and it's an excellent effort from Cabella. Lose the ball again. Look at the action, look at the attitude of Anita. And I'm thinking to myself, why can't you do that in the first half? Because you've been criticised by so many people for last weekend's performance. You should be actually coming out and you should be actually getting in the faces of Arsenal. Arsenal are in great run of form. Yes, it's pretty sure that Arsenal would have got tired second half. Look at Perez there chasing the ball. Look at Sissoko closing him down and winning the ball back. And Newcastle are now attacking. And everyone's happy. It's a much better performance. And I think they were unlucky not to get a point out of that game.
Yeah, in terms of Arsenal, they're on a really good run, especially in the league, of course. Yeah. They went out of the Champions League, but a valiant effort nevertheless. And they've got a striker in form as well. I mean, anything Harry Kane can do, Olivier Giroud can do almost as well.
Absolutely. Well, he's on fire as well in front of goal. 8 goals in 9 games now, plus 3 assists. Nothing lucky about that. Right place. He knows, he reads it better than anyone. Again, it's Williamson who's marking him. And it's a very, very good finish. We showed the corner earlier. That's hunger, that's desire, that's wanting to put your head in where it hurts and get a goal. And he wants it more than Williamson. I like him. I think he's a good
Philip,
player.
Arsenal, best they can do, second or sneaky chance of the title, is it?
I don't think they can win the title, but they're a point behind Man City now, and they're right in the chase for a Champions League place.
Yeah, certainly are. Next to the Etihad, where West Brom revived under Tony Pulis, took on a Manchester City side whose title challenge is hanging by a thread.
Of course, every point you drop is more difficult. The options for the title are far now, but I think it's important to try to continue to return it to our normal performance, to continue to try to keep the second place of the table. We are not going to give up. We are going to try to improve.
Your commentator, Guy Mowbray.
Having had a penalty saved in Barcelona on Wednesday, Sergio Aguero has now gone 4 games without a goal. He has scored 4 in 5 previous appearances against West Brom. This Tony Pulis Albion side seems much harder to score against. The influence of Darren Fletcher in front of the back 4 is one of the reasons for that, and he'll relish playing the villain today as a long-time Manchester United man. Frank Lampard. Bonny. Tidied up. I was going to say tidied up by Macaulay, but Bonny is in. Now it's a free kick just outside the box. Does anything else happen? Neil Swarbrick's giving himself time to think about it. It's poor from Macaulay. Dawson comes across. It's seen as a foul on Bonny. Is it seen as denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity? It is. It is. And West Bromwich Albion are down to 10 with 90 seconds of the match played. What a nightmare start for the Baggies. Craig Dawson dismissed. Gareth Macaulay is walking. It's Dawson's foul. But Gareth Macaulay is making the walk to the dressing room. That's number 23, not number 25, which seems incredible. I think we've just had another shocking case of mistaken identity. Well, let's try and work out Neil Swarbrick's thought process here. It's Dawson's foul on Bonny, that's no question. Well, that has to be the reason for the red card. Does anything happen next? Is it the second one here? I'm afraid that seems to be a shocker. And you can see what Tony Pulis thinks about it all. Zabaleta. Navas. Bonny. Silva. Parried by Myhill. And it fell safely. Zabaleta is quite literally all over the back of Sessegnon. Now Silva found a way through and it was flying into the goal. Good save from Myhill. Jesus Navas. Zabaleta. Into Fernando's feet. Bonny's pulled it down and finished. Flag stayed down. Albion look across and ask the question. Wilfried Bonny celebrates his first Manchester City goal. Vincent Kompany played it into Fernando. A double ricochet on his attempted pass to Bonny. But fall for Bonny it did. And finish well, he did. That'll be a weight off the shoulders. £28 million and loose change from Swansea City in January. And in his 7th Manchester City appearance, he breaks his goals duck for them. Clichy. Navas. Turned and fired. That's a wonderful save from Myhill and a terrific effort from the Spanish winger. He wrapped his foot around it. It would have been a spectacular effort for 2-0, but for Myhill. Zabaleta's into the box. David Silva's there. Off Lescott and behind. Jesus Navas puts it over. Mangala was there to meet it. Myhill's lost it, and it's put in. Fernando scores against West Bromwich Albion again. After a right old mess and mix-up in the Albion penalty area, he doubles his total of goals for the club and City's total of goals for the day.
Goal for City and our 1,000th in Premier League history. Scorer number 6,
proudly
Fernando.
Announced over the PA system as Manchester City's 1,000th Premier League goal. It'll be another Premier League win today, almost certainly. Tony Pulis not happy about that challenge from Mangala on Berahino, just before the muddle that allowed Fernando to make it 2-0. Morrison. Dawson's up and wants it at the back of the box. There was no way through all the way over there. Here comes City. Jesus Navas, Aguero to the right, Bonny and Clichy on the left-hand side. Aguero. Here's David Silva. Lescott there to help out his goalkeeper. Fernando. It really is only a matter of time before 2-0 becomes 3-0 and maybe more. Silva. Jesus Navas. Aguero, Myhill saves. Don't know how much he knew about it. Myhill's doing what he can in terms of West Brom damage limitation. Lampard to Aguero. Aguero finds a way past Myhill, but against the post and against the bar from Bonney. Zabaleta. Fernando. Zabaleta. Silva denied by Myhill. Coming into this weekend, only Southampton had hit the woodwork more times than Manchester City. West Bromwich Albion's rotten record at Manchester City seems certain to continue. Number 1 here at the Etihad Stadium. Their only win in their last 20 visits to City overall since 1980 came in their final ever trip to Main Road. In towards Olsen, off the bar from Berahino, and then wide somehow. How did Saido Berahino miss that? Jonas Olsen found some room, no offside flag. Berahino, with a flick of his head, couldn't keep the ball down. Clichy. Clichy, time to steady himself before playing it back to Jovetic. And it's in for 3. And I think David Silva got the last touch on the way. Silva's goal. And if anybody deserved one today, it's him. Look at all the time and space that Clichy had. Jovetic with the shot, and look at Silva instantly, letting everybody know that he got the diverting touch. Just let the ball roll off the shin pad and in, and Manuel Pellegrini can sit easy now. Manchester City 3, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Not always that you play with one player more, you can play well. I think that today we play well defending, because maybe a lot of time when you have one player less and you have important counter-attacks, you receive or you concede the goal.
If he thinks it's a sending off, it's a sending off. How he gets the wrong player is just beyond me. And we you know, the second goal, even from where I'm stood, you know, you're thinking, well, he's got his foot up. You know, Saido's jumped and he's actually caught Saido on the side of the face with his foot. How he doesn't give a free kick for that, you know, is beyond me. And those decisions, you know, change games.
What were you saying to him?
Just, you know, make a sensible decision. It's the first minute of the game, and take your time. I was saying, take your time, you know, because this is it's a massive decision that impacts the rest of the game. I was really surprised when he showed the red card. I think a lot of our players were, and then to the wrong player as well, which we're trying to say as well, but you know, fell on deaf ears.
We were patient. More important to keep the ball and to try to create the chance and try to score. So we done well, and after we controlled the game, because it was quite easy for us after.
Congratulations on reaching 100 games as Manchester City manager. If you could pick a highlight, have you got any particular moments?
Yes, of course, when we won the title last year, the Premier League. But for me, I was so happy to see the team playing. It doesn't matter if we are winning or we have one player more, to give a good game to the fans, to try always to score goal and be an attractive team.
Yeah, he's he won the title. It's a bit tougher this season, of course, and you know, a lot of criticism on them, but they bounced back. I suppose helpful, of course, if a player gets sent off against you in the second minute, and that was the biggest talking point of the game. In another case, a mistaken identity.
I mean, it was comical. I mean, it was a sending off. I don't think there's any question about that. But he just sent the wrong man off, and you see Neil Swab. He's come out after the game and apologised for it. It was a human error. You see Macaulay and Dawson. It's Dawson that makes the tackle. It was a horrendous pass from Macaulay in the first minute of the game, anyway, to put his mate under pressure.
Maybe he sent him off for the pass.
Exactly, and Swarbrick there goes straight to where the foul was committed. You see Macaulay there saying it wasn't me. If I was him, I actually wouldn't have left the field. I would have said, look, it was Craig Dawson, get him off. But
well, I'm sure they did that. I'm sure Dawson said actually it was me, but I don't understand. Referees won't listen.
You would listen to a player, would you?
Yeah, but I would if it was. You know, if the player's actually confessing, no, it was me. It wasn't the other guy. Well, why wouldn't you? Why would he lie about that?
He did take his time over the decision as well. He's lost concentration, but without doubt, it's mistaken identity. It'll be overturned, and Dawson will get the ban. Different to what it was at Manchester United against Sunderland, when the referee said it wasn't mistaken identity.
I suppose the real positive for Manchester City is that Bonney's come in. He scored his first goal for the club, because they've been lacking another goal scorer apart from, of course, Aguero.
Well, he did. I thought he did really well today. I thought all aspects of his game looked sharp. He brought people into the game. I like this clip here because he's not content with just playing the pass. He wants to get on the end of it there. You can see him screaming for the ball. This is a great run. Go short to go long, and he left Lescott for dead there. Unlucky to get the block. He's big and strong. Lovely little flick, and I think he gives them something extra. This is a very, very good finish. Not an easy one, but a very good finish. Did very well to get in there in the first place. Just look at all the West Brom players. 4 of them got their eye on the ball there. Not one of them knows where Bonney is. He picks it out. It falls to him kindly. It's a decent touch, but it's a brilliant finish into the roof of the net, and the goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance whatsoever. Side foot, calm that is, Seen a lot of strikers who just put the foot through that and it goes over the bar. Work rate also for the team, winning the ball back. So yeah, I was interested in his performance. I thought he did really well. And when you look at Dzeko, 4 goals this season, Jovetic 5. He's got 10 league goals already. 16 goals he got for Swansea last season. So I think he'll get his fair share of goals. And without doubt, playing in that team, he'll get his fair share of chances.
Has Pellegrini, Philip, got to win the title to keep his job?
Yeah, I think he has.
You do?
I think he has. I think it's that kind of club. I think we saw it with Mancini, where he won the title the year after he failed and he was out of a job, and I think it'll be no different for Pellegrini.
OK, I mean, it was tough for West Brom, wasn't it? I mean, it's tough against Manchester City away with 11 players, let alone 10. They found it difficult.
They did find it difficult. I mean, after the sending off, they showed no ambition whatsoever to actually go forward and to try and score a goal. They got camped on the edge of their own box. They got men behind the ball, and really it was damage limitation. It was like a training exercise of attack v defence, but the goalkeeper, Boris Mayo, was absolutely fantastic. It was 13 saves in the game. I actually counted 7 really, really good ones, and because they were playing so deep, a lot were from outside the box, but you know, he made good reaction saves. He was brilliant. Ben Foster's out for 6 months with a cruciate ligament injury. That was a great save as well, and the best save was actually from Navas towards the end. Everything that City threw at him, he tried to keep out, and this was the best save for me from Navas. Yeah. Great save with his left hand. And he's got his chance now to stake a claim with Ben Foster being out for so long.
Certainly has. On Sunday's Match of the Day 2, it's time for the talking to stop.
There's a shiver in the waves. There are fireworks. You can't be keen by the day, but still have nothing to say.
Thank you.
Under a white sky.
Thank you. Thank you.
3 big games, and you can follow them all on Radio 5 Live, including commentary on Hull against Chelsea from 4.
Oh, it's a deep cross towards Di Canio. Oh, what a shot! He was in mid-air when he hit that Paolo Di Canio. Sullivan, no chance at all.
Good play by Stewart, and a decent ball as well towards Bartlett. To have his name attached to that one.
A couple of stunning Buddy Hollies. Burnley's victory over Manchester City last Saturday has given them a real chance of escaping an immediate return to the Championship. 3 points against the Champions League chasing Southampton would certainly help their cause. At St Mary's Stadium, John Watson.
Graziano Pella is recalled to the Southampton attack, hoping to end his run of 12 games without a goal and improve on their record of 3 in the last 7. Shane Long keeps his place. Victor Wanyama drops to the bench, protected perhaps because of 9 yellow cards. Sam Vokes, back in the Welsh squad and making his second Burnley start since his injury, was brought up around here as a Southampton supporter. His father is in the crowd today with mixed feelings. Burnley are unchanged from their victory over Manchester City. Southampton were beaten 1-0 at Burnley back in December. Now they have a chance of putting that to rights here at St Mary's. Oh, the goalkeeper's gone down under challenge from Vokes there. Fraser Forster, who's the number 2 in the England squad, of course, to Joe Hart, looks to have damaged his shoulder by the way he's reacted. His fall was nothing to do with Vokes as such, and he was waving and holding his right shoulder, the goalkeeper. Well, I don't think he's going to be England's number 1 or England's number 2, if that scene is as worrying as it looks. Fraser Forster. Well, never a happy sight when a player gets carried off like that. Warm applause for Fraser Forster as he leaves the field. Had a fine season, and until now, ever present. And there's also applause for the veteran reserve goalkeeper, Kelvin Davis, making his first senior appearance of the season. We understand that Fraser Forster actually took 2 blows there, one to his shoulder and one to his knee, in that incident which has led to him being carried off. Good play by Burnley. Boyd spread it right out to the other wide player, Barnes. That's his cross. In comes Boyd again, and a Vokes! And the reserve goalkeeper makes a telling save, Kelvin Davis. Sam Vokes thought he'd scored on the ground where he was a supporter for so many years as a young boy. Vokes very nearly opened the scoring. Corner Burnley. Jason Shackles up at the back there. Boyd! Through the crowd. Oh, he hit a beauty against Manchester City last week, George Boyd. And he's had another shot there. Pella helping out in defence. Burnley on the attack. This has come to Arfield. Oh, and now space for Boyd. Oh, I thought almost a call for a penalty. Well, what was Roger East's position like on this penalty claim? If you watch it closely, I think Font, he does get some of the ball. That's obviously what the referee's decided, but he does definitely get the left foot of George Boyd. Arfield is after Pella here. Bertrand joins the attack. Tadic is outside him. Mane. Klein. Oh, they all missed it. No, they didn't. It's Shane Long who finishes it off for Southampton and opens the scoring after 37 minutes. Tadic did some good work on the left. Deep cross. Shackle tried to get it away. Mane had a shot. Probably two deflections on that. One of them might have been Pella. Here's Klein's effort. Pella, I think, missed it really. And Shane Long stuck it in. Southampton 1, Burnley 0. They're singing happy birthday to Ronald Koeman at the moment, the Southampton supporters. Free kick against Jones on Mane. A little bit of acknowledgement there. Made a real impression here, the Dutchman, following Pochettino when he went to Spurs. Tadic is going to take it, I think, was it Davis? It's Tadic. Oh, they're all closing in. That should have been 2-0. Oh, they hit the bar. Pella again. Oh, it just won't go for him. And Burnley have had an escape, and they've come out of it on the attack. And here comes Arfield. And this is Ings. Oh, what a fine save by Kelvin Davis. Not away yet, though, Barnes. Well, that could have been 2-0 at one end, or 1-1 at the other, in a matter of seconds. Now, Ings must have felt here that he was going to equalise. It's a perfectly set-up shot, and brilliantly turned to one side by Davis. Now then, what about Graziano Pella? He just can't score. He's hit the bar this time. Mane has now switched to the left-hand side for Southampton, linking up with Tadic there. There's Mane again. Now, can he pull this back to Pella? Oh, he tried. Davis is in there. Stephen Davis. Now Tadic. Pella. Oh! Davis and Pella, I think, went for the same ball here. It comes out to Tadic. That's his cross. Yes, they're both in together. I think it's Davis that actually has the header. Yes, it is. Pressing for the second goal. Well, Ronald Koeman and his brother Erwin there, who've guided Southampton into the top six and have more or less kept them there. I mean, a lot of people thought this run might end and they might finish up mid-table, but there's no sign of that. This is Trippier. Barnes heads it back in. Oh, turned over this time by Davis from Vokes. Oh, that's a good save by Davis. The latest news we have on Fraser Forster is that he's on his way to hospital, and it's suspected knee ligament damage more than the shoulder. Here's Bertrand. It's fair to say, I think, that Burnley are still very much in the game and that Southampton could do with a second goal. Mane, Bertrand, Davis. Nice little lob pass. Bertrand. Oh, it's an own goal! It's an own goal, Jason Shackle. Really hard lines on the Burnley captain, but you've got to give Stephen Davis credit for the little chip pass which led to the cross. Watch this little ball here by Davis, beautifully delivered. Bertrand fires it in, and Jason Shackle sticks out his right leg, and it shoots past the goalkeeper for an own goal. It's Southampton 2, Burnley 0, and that has given Burnley a real headache. Barnes challenged by Davis, Pella in the centre, Klein stays forward. Arfield makes the challenge, and Mane is forced outwards, and it's a corner to Southampton. Taken quickly short by Mane. Davis, there's the cross. Pella! Just not his day. It's Southampton 2, Burnley 0.
A difficult first half. I think they had some one or two very good chances. Kelvin Davis was saving in 1 and 2 occasions in the first half, but I think the second half was very good. Was dominated, good ball position.
Very good performance from us first half. We had 4 chances, penalty not given. That's our third in a number of games that we haven't had given. But we fell flat with the margins a number of times this season. We've created good chances and not taken them, and that is what the Premier League's about.
What's the early news on Fraser Forster?
He has a knee injury, yes. I hope it will be okay, but the doctor is not very positive.
You don't want to come on in those circumstances. Obviously, we're thinking a lot of Fraser at the minute, and hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery.
Well, the news is that Fraser Forster is out of the England squad, and they fear that he'll be out for the rest of the season at least. Looks like it might be quite serious. Let's hope not. And Roy Hodgson has called up 2 goalkeepers to go with Joe Hart. We've got Jack Butland from Stoke, of course, and Robert Green from QPR, both been called up. We'll come to the goalkeeping shortly, but it was actually a decent game of football, wasn't it? End-to-end stuff for much of it. So what was the difference between, ultimately, between the two sides?
I think in a game where Burnley probably deserved something, it was the centre-backs for me that made the errors that cost Burnley a point in the game, Shackle and Duff, who made probably bad defensive errors. We see them there circled, and they're so well organised, Burnley. You see when the ball gets crossed here, they're in really good positions, the back four, and as they clear that ball, normally you see the whole back four come up, but Michael Duff stays in there in a wrong position. If he comes up, he plays Shane Long offside. He doesn't do that, so when the ball comes through to Shane Long, he's got a simple tap-in.
It's a strange one staying back now.
It is, because I think normally when you see Burnley play, they come out together, they're a good unit, as in well organised, and on that occasion he stayed in. This was the second goal. Bertrand comes down the left-hand side, fires in a really good cross, and I think he was a little bit unsighted. It's unfortunate, an own goal by Shackle, and ultimately that was the difference between the two sides.
Sean Dyche's voice got even deeper when he wasn't given a penalty, or his team weren't given a penalty. What did you make of it?
I didn't think it was an obvious one, but having watched it 2 or 3 times, which I had to decide whether it was a penalty or not, I do think there's contact there. You can just see Font's boot go onto Boyd there. He doesn't touch the ball, Font, at all. Tough one, but I think that is a penalty.
Agreed, Philip?
Yeah, for me it was a penalty. The speed in which Font came in, the referee's in a great position. For me, that's a penalty.
Yeah, OK. Goalkeepers, Fraser Forster, real shame for him. He's been terrific this season. But you have to say Kelvin Davis was terrific when he came on.
He was unbelievable. And they've kept 14 clean sheets this season. And Kelvin Davis, who's not had much action, came on. That was the first one from Danny Ings, a really good reaction save to his right-hand side. This was the second one from Sam Vokes. Again, really good instinctive shot and instinctive save. And the third one, probably the most simplest of saves, but still, he was in the right place at the right time, and he's got an opportunity now to play with Fraser Forster, probably going to be out for the rest of the season. Look, he enjoyed that game today.
Certainly did. Southampton, I mean, realistically, do you think Europa League would be satisfactory, wouldn't it? I mean, Champions League would be unbelievable.
It would be a great achievement for them to get a Europa League spot. I do think they'll miss Fraser Forster because he's played a massive part in their success this season. The best defensive record, and one of the big reasons is because of him. But Europa League spot for Southampton would be brilliant.
Would. As with Tony Pulis at West Brom, Alan Pardew has taken Crystal Palace to calmer waters. Today they sailed into Stoke with Mark Hughes' side on course to record their best season for 40 years. Alan Green was at the Britannia.
Stoke need 9 points from 9 games to establish a record club total in the Premier League, a return even fewer than the consistency shown by Crystal Palace in their revival under Alan Pardew. The game is almost a sellout. Injuries forced changes on Mark Hughes, 4 of them. Juff is one of those to come in. Walters suffered a depressed fracture of his cheekbone last weekend. He's risked only on the bench. For Palace, Suarez is the only alteration, replacing Kelly at left back. Watching Crystal Palace these days is usually entertaining. They do leak goals. They score them. Ireland, good back heel. Ireland with a shot. Good vision by Ireland in the first place. And Charlie Adam hit it really well. 1-2. Nodovic in Ireland. Little push on Nodovic. That's a free kick. It is a long way out, of course. But I've seen Charlie Adam strike from this range before. He's normally accurate as well. Oh, it's hooked on. No offside flag. Juff has scored. Adams' free kick. All eyes were then on Juff. Was he onside? The assistant kept this flag down. The goal stands. Stoke lead 1-0. Good finish, wasn't it? Like the celebration as well. Stoke lead, and they've yet to lose any of the 13 games this season when they've taken the lead. Here's MacArthur. Shot cross, intent on holding Balassi back. Begovic came. Balassi, it's a penalty. Begovic caught Balassi, there's no question about that. Initially Stoke under pressure because Shawcross was just intent on holding Balassi back. He got beyond him. Begovic came out. It was a little careless. So Glenn Murray is going to take the penalty for Crystal Palace. Wow. Don't you just like them when they're belted in with such ferocity and accuracy? Excellent from Murray. And it's 1-1. Theoretically, not a lot at stake. But isn't it great to see a full house in these circumstances? Header on, here's an opportunity! Goodness gracious! Hesitation in the Stoke defence, and Wilfried Zaha takes complete advantage! That was poor Stoke defending in the final seconds of the first half. From 1-0 down, Palace are 2-1 in front. Look at the hesitation. Zaha was quick, and he got there before Begovic, and that's a very good finish. Deep into added time, Palace are in front. Peters. Difficult ball. Goodness gracious, that definitely came off Baroni in the end. Juve almost turned it in for his second goal. Brilliant cross by Charlie Adam. Good play all round. Strong punch by the Argentine. Now danger here. Stoke vulnerable to this counter-attack, are they? Saha. Cross, oh goodness gracious, half cleared, and then Punchin wafts his shot high and wide. That could have been 3-1. Oh dear, dear. Palace chairman watching on. Suarez. Oh, Balassi's robbed the defender. Balassi. Oh, couldn't quite bring the ball under control. He was being hustled by Shawcross after the captain made the initial mistake. Great control by Dan. Hits the post. That was an effort worthy of a top-class striker. Look at this. First of all, the control. First time volleyed shot. Took a slight deflection. Do you think Palace might score enough goals to stay up? Mark Hughes will be very, very unhappy how his side have started the second period. Anadovic. Oh, here's a chance for Ireland. Onside. Great save by Baroni. Watches the ball breaks to Ireland. He was definitely onside. Cameron with a throw-in. There's an opportunity. Juve. Handball, he claims. Ward was the man. He got an arm to it. And he was looking away. I'm not sure that can be adjudged to be a penalty kick. Cameron. Juve, fouled. Driven about him. Got to get her on. Great save by Speroni. In Zonzi's touch. Can I watch these two every week?
Stoke were good today, and we really had to dig deep in a lot of areas, particularly in terms of character. And in my years as a manager, I've not managed many teams with as character as high on the agenda as this team.
We were disappointed with the penalty award. We felt the lad Balassi has gone in high with his boots, and that's obviously distracted Asmir. I felt it should have been a free kick the other way, if I'm honest, because it was dangerous play. But he was given. It's been 2 straight balls today that have got us out, and we haven't defended correctly, and we've been punished for both of them.
We never played well last week, but there was a reaction there today. We played well, but 5 minutes of madness has cost us the game.
Barn had a disaster on our point, or some teams putting a hell of runs together. Then I think we should be okay. But the type mentality from the group now, we're going to start looking up the table.
First things first, it's another good game, of course. A lot of good games this evening, but a couple of decisions to look at that both went against Stoke, of course.
Yeah, dodgy decisions. I didn't think this was a penalty at all. Good ball over the top. Balassi, Begovic. Balassi goes in very, very high. They just sort of graze each other, just a tiny touch. I don't think that's a penalty at all.
Just a collision.
It is. Well, it's barely that. Look how high he is, Balassi. But no, I didn't think that was a penalty at all. And Glenn Murray, 4 in 4 now.
Yeah.
And this was the penalty appeal that Mark Hughes was really disappointed with. I mean, that's great goalkeeping from Joel Ward. he nearly catches the ball. That is a stonewall penalty, and I can understand why Mark Hughes is so disappointed. He comes out yet, probably doesn't know anything about it, Joel Ward, but
might have just been 2 arms, maybe that's why.
Just 2 arms, yeah.
I mean, remarkable for Crystal Palace the way it's been turned around. I mean, Pardew was out Pulis.
Yes, whatever that means. Yeah, but
sure it does mean
when he took over, they were 18th or 11th now. They've just taken over Newcastle in the league as well, which I'm pretty sure he'll be delighted about.
Yeah. And Stoke, I mean, they've lost a couple of games now, but they were solid enough and a bit unfortunate today.
They're unfortunate. They played really well today, and they need another 9 points to get the record number of points they've ever had in the Premier League, which is fantastic. Mark Hughes has done a great job there.
Certainly has. A quick reminder that following us, Manish is back with the Football League show.
Well, with the Championship title race one of the closest in Europe, the latest round of games just happened to see 8 of the top 9 face each other. Our feature sees latest leaders Watford take on playoff-chasing Ipswich, with the best of 3rd v 2nd with Bournemouth against Middlesbrough. Clem's been to Barnsley, not to mention another twist in the battle to stay in the Football League. Hope you can join us later.
West Ham's form has dramatically tailed off since Christmas. They were once as high as 4th, but it's now just 1 win in 12. Sunderland made the trip to Upton Park after yet another week of upheaval.
Sunderland 0, Aston Villa 1. Double despair for Sunderland.
The look on Gaspoyet's face says it all. There are many Sunderland supporters who have seen enough.
Their head coach Dick Advocat is the name that's in.
I think we have a good squad. If everybody's fit, I think we can do the job. I have no doubts about that.
The commentator for this one, Steve Wilson.
With Andy Carroll and Enner Valencia injured, the onus to score goals for out-of-form West Ham falls on Diafra Sakho. 10 so far this season, but none here since New Year's Day. With Jermaine Defoe returning to his former club, Dick Advocat picks him, Stephen Fletcher and Connor Wickham, whose goal burst last April helped keep Sunderland up. Larson recovered. Gomez to Jermaine Defoe. The flag has stayed down. Fletcher's arrived in the middle and Wickham is on the edge of the area. Defoe finds Wickham. First touch not bad, second touch very good. Adrian with a good save. Excellent Sunderland counter-attack that. Well hit. New manager, fresh ideas, new things in training. Kouyaté, that's dangerous. It's Jermaine Defoe in behind and he's missed it. Oh, he's missed a golden opportunity here, Jermaine Defoe. And he's staring down the whites of Adrian's eyes and he's missed the target. The kind of chance he's been gobbling up for years. Now Downing flying. Little deflection. Oh, Jarvis was so close to getting something on that. Nolan's cross is then blocked by Larson. Oh, Jarvis can't believe he didn't get a touch on that. It was so inviting. Cresswell. Sakho! That was close. Oh, West Ham have burst into life here. Good header this by Sakho. He'll have been in charge for 4 seasons at the end of this campaign, Sam Allardyce. Jarvis. Good ball in. Oh, very good ball in that from Jarvis. Well, Nolan here is beside himself, but he hasn't got anything for this. What a magnificent ball in by Jarvis that was. Well, Larson has got his arm around Kevin Nolan. Nolan wasn't going to underplay it. Nolan. Cresswell. That's a decent ball and Sakho hasn't made the most of it. Well, that's twice now that Diafra Sakho has come close with headers. That's another really good chance for Sakho. Gus Poyet's son is on the bench today for West Ham, Diego. I'm sure he'd be dreaming last night of getting on and doing something against the team that sacked his old man. Free kick, Wickham too strong. Noble on the ground, the ball had gone. Collins forward. Oh, it's too long for O'Shea, now it's on a penalty. Nolan's gone down, and the flag is up on this near side for offside. Kevin Nolan obviously is protesting that he was fouled, and it did look that way when this free kick comes in. He's onside there, then when the flick comes in, he's in an offside position, but the flick is off O'Shea. Vergini did seem to foul Nolan. It's come off him, Nolan is saying, pointing at John O'Shea. So here is the change, and Stephen Fletcher is the man who is coming off, and Adam Johnson is coming on. The suspension against him, which was imposed by Sunderland, has been lifted. Larson, Johnson, Van Aanholt. Hit by Van Aanholt. Oh, it's a good save. Out of nothing here, Van Aanholt. With the form West Ham have been in, they would dearly love to take 3 points today. Jenkinson. Noble. Well, I thought he might have got a free kick there. Sakho scores! And West Ham have won the game, surely with 2 minutes to go. We'll have a look here on the edge of the penalty area as this comes through to Nene, and he seems to jump all over Larson, but it falls to Sakho, and Sakho scores. Well, for me, that's dangerous play. Sakho takes it well. West Ham lead 1-0. And Dick Advocat's first game in charge of Sunderland looks now as though it will finish in defeat.
You can't beat a 1-0, I think, when you need one. I think that the lads' endeavour was paid off rightly so in the end, based on the balance of the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. We just couldn't find the little bit of quality till Sacco found it for us.
Very difficult to play against a team like West Ham with a lot of long balls and with the pressurised what they did. But we had also some opportunity to score a goal, and I did not expect that West Ham should score a goal in the 88 minutes. That was really disappointing.
And the manner of the goal as well, because even Nene seemed to feel that he'd fouled last, and I saw him turn and look at the referee almost as though he was expecting a free kick to be given to Sunderland.
Yeah, that was the right decision, but he did not do that. That's all what I would like to say about that.
Well, I guess we get straight to that. I mean, terrific, important win for West Ham, stopping the rot, really, for Big Sam. But it was a late winner, but it was very contentious.
I couldn't believe that the referee didn't give a foul here. Nene on Larson, he just wipes him out. He's all over him, knocks him down. Very good finish from Saka. Well, there was no reaction from the Sunderland players at all to referee Lee Mason. I think the ref got that wrong.
You can only assume that he didn't see it, obviously. Really.
Well, he takes him right out.
I couldn't believe the reaction that nobody actually, even Larson, didn't get up and actually start chasing the referee. We've seen it with the Chelsea players, actually putting a little bit of pressure on. Maybe that's why Lee Mason didn't give it.
Having said that, they probably got away with one a little early, didn't they?
Just a little bit, yeah. They had a little stroke of luck. The ball came in the box. It was given for offside, but it clearly came off John O'Shea. How the assistant didn't see that it was come off John O'Shea. Kevin Nolan's in an offside position, but it came off John O'Shea. That is a stonewall penalty for me, and they got away with that. As it gets flicked on, Sveginic got his arms wrapped around Kevin Nolan.
I think the referee's in totally the wrong position there. He's nowhere near the play. You can't see it at all.
I know we've been there before, but every week we're talking about contentious decisions, bad decisions, big mistakes, mistaken identity. It's time referees need a bit of help, isn't it? We're fed up of criticising them.
I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them. They need some help because they're getting absolutely slaughtered on every programme, on every TV station in England at the moment. And for me, I'm starting to think that they do need a bit of help.
Absolutely. I don't think anyone disagrees with that anymore. Technology...
Except for FIFA, of course.
It has to be brought in sooner rather than later. Too many bad decisions.
That appointment, that surprised you? Is he the man to keep Sunderland up? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a tough call. They're not scoring goals. They're certainly not pretty to watch. I think the encouraging thing today is that he tried to be more positive. He tried to play Fletcher, Wickham and Defoe, three of them. Didn't work for them today, but to see what he does in the next game.
Might do in the future. Not since 2010 under Martin O'Neill have Aston Villa secured 3 Premier League wins in a row. But today against Swansea, they had that chance. It was the opposite scenario for Gary Monk as he looked to steer his side away from a 3rd straight defeat. Steve Bauer was at Villa Park.
There's no better case study in the Sherwood factor than Scott Sinclair. The 25-year-old scored 3 goals in his last 5 games and today faces the club he helped into the Premier League in a season where he scored 27 goals, including a Wembley hat-trick in the playoff final. Swansea could do with that kind of current goal threat. Gylfi Sigurdsson is their top scorer with 7 goals after the January departure of Wilfried Bonney, one of which was enough to win the corresponding fixture against Villa on Boxing Day. He also played under Tim Sherwood at Spurs last season. Switching play to Neil Taylor. Shelvey demanding it ahead of him. Here he is. Nicely into Sigurdsson. Promising move this for Swansea. Taylor's onside. Gomez must score. What a challenge from Alan Hutton. It's still potentially alive for Swansea. And cleared in the end by Tom Cleverley. Well, Aston Villa did well to survive this. Lovely touch through there initially from Shelvey. And then it was Taylor, who might have been in an offside position with the pullback, but it was Brad Guzan who denied the Frenchman his 3rd Premier League goal. Shelvey. A little bit of space now for Key. He's got numbers up with him here, including Taylor from left back. 4 in the centre for Swansea. Key once again. Gomez onside. And Guzan at his near post. Kept him out again. Bafatimbi Gomez has certainly had a sniff of goal so far in this game. It was Hutton who was playing him on. He's trying to lead Aston Villa to back-to-back home league wins for the first time in a year today. They've been second best so far. Routledge trying to get away from Akura, who fouled Routledge. Swansea free kick. Didn't get any of the ball, the Danish international. Lifted in by Sigurdsson. Guzan made an early decision. He wasn't impeded, and Villa survived. Routledge it was who had the shot. Well, Guzan was looking for a free kick there. Was he fouled? No, he wasn't. He just completely misjudged it. And it was Kieran Clark who stopped a certain goal. Now Benteke. Managed to get it wide in the end to Hutton. Swept in from him. Benteke on the end. Agbonlahor surely. The clearest opportunity for Villa so far in the game. Benteke's header, it fell to Agbonlahor, and it was Neil Taylor with the all-important intervention. Plenty of mutual respect between the two managers today. They are studying their UEFA Pro licence together in the same group. Got to know each other well during that time. Montero. Still going Jefferson Montero, and still, this might be an opportunity. Gomez! Clark with the block. Well, Swansea have had opportunities in this kind of area. Timby Gomez has had most of them. His team have scored in 16 of their last 19 Premier League games. They'll still be hoping they can score in this one. Routledge. Montero into his stride, looking for Gomez! Finally, for the Frenchman and Swansea, he takes an opportunity. His third Premier League goal for the club, and it's a killer blow for Tim Sherwood and Aston Villa. Well, it's a reward for perseverance from Swansea and Gomez's point of view. He got there ahead of Clark, and after a couple of good opportunities in this game he couldn't take, he was able to dispatch this one. Fantastic delivery from Jefferson Montero, who's made a real impact since coming on. And are Swansea on the verge of a 5th away win of the season? Is there a Villa response? Is there time? Here's Delph. He's looking for Sinclair here. He's found him! What a chance for Scott Sinclair. With 2 minutes to go to instantly reply for Villa. What an opportunity. And he knew it. So did he.
Probably should have scored 1 or 2 goals in that first half, but second half was much more even, I thought. But yeah, I think it was a case of who could get that first goal in the second half. But both teams were kind of pushing second half. We got the goal, good goal, and thankful that we got the 3 points.
I think we showed them too much respect in the first half, and they played well. To be fair to them, they make it very difficult. They always got an extra man playing smart, tight areas and switch the play. I thought we adapted to that in the second period, and we looked like the more likely.
And that's what makes it harder to take right at the end again.
Yeah, but that's unfortunately that's the game. That's the nature of the game. You have to. I'm waiting for the time when we get something we don't deserve.
Since Boney's left, Baffy's grasping his chance and his work, his commitment. He's deserved goals already, and unfortunately hasn't quite got that rub of the green. But today he deserved that goal. I thought he's fantastic, and he's been working very, very well with the group, and he deserves his goal. Hopefully now that's a kickstart to score some more.
Yeah, he was battling on through the game. He had an interesting afternoon, didn't he, Gomez? Almost a very adept sort of surname at one stage. You started thinking he was going to miss all day, but in the end he found a net, which is all that matters, is the late winner.
He did. I mean, he started the game. You could see he just lacked a little bit of confidence in front of goal. This is in the first half. Really good move from Swansea, who played really well in the game. A cutback from Neil Taylor. I thought there he should have scored. He should have been more clinical. It was a timid strike. This was good movement. He doesn't get the ball first time, but he keeps readjusting his position. Makes a good little dart in behind. Brilliant strike with his left foot. And played really well.
I think this is brilliant centre-forward play here. The way he controls this situation with Kieran Clark, it's a brilliant ball in from Montero, but just watch the way he doesn't allow Clark to get into that space. He's holding him off, he's strong. Yes, it's a great ball, but it's a brilliant finish as well. To get in there, to get the hunger and the desire and the finish and hold Kieran Clark off as he did, it was brilliant.
Swansea are a force now, aren't they?
Well, I've waited all season for them to dip, and they haven't. I think they did full credit to Gary Monk. He's done a great job.
He's doing a fantastic job. He had position there in the league, though.
There's quite a big gap behind them, isn't it, for the bottom 10. Aston Villa, disappointment, especially, I suppose, after the rally that they've had in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Tim was a little bit flat there, and rightly so. But I think they'll probably just have enough to stay in this league.
OK, gents, we're just about out of time, so thank you very much indeed. But before we leave you, let's take a look at the Barclays Premier League table. Victories for Manchester City and Arsenal mean they keep up the chase on leaders Chelsea. The Blues are 3 points clear but have 2 games in hand, one of which comes against Hull on Sunday. A couple of hours before that, Liverpool and Manchester United meet at Anfield as the race for Champions League places hots up. Leicester remain 3 points adrift at the bottom. Aston Villa, Sunderland and Burnley also lost, so it could be a good weekend for QPR if they can get something out of their game with Everton. And a quick look at the Sunday paper headlines. The Sunday Express reflects on what it calls a disastrous day for Premier League referees. On the same theme, the Mail on Sunday leads with Tony Pulis's call for video technology. And we're barely into spring, but the Sunday Times is already looking ahead to the summer transfer window and predicting some high-profile targets for the Manchester clubs. Well, he's had his first England call-up, now first in the goal-scoring charts, and his first Premier League hat-trick. Not a bad week for Harry Kane.